Hi, it's Kevin May, PhocusWire Studio. One of our partner interviews. So welcome, Beth Godlin, the president of the AON travel practice. We've spoken before, but it's nice to meet in person. Give us your sense, really. I mean, what is the kind of, from your perspective and what AON does, what's the kind of the travel outlook, do you think, for 2020 to kind of kick us off?
Sure. We recently, last month, actually got the results of a Harris poll that we partnered with Harris on, and asked them for what they thought to survey the travel outlook for 2020. And I'm happy to report, even better than it was the prior year.
Okay.
So some 83% of the respondents to the survey said that they were planning on taking a vacation. And we compared those results to a study that Expedia had done in 2018, where the results were, I think it was around 57%. So 83% looking into 2020 versus 57% looking into 2019, a very sizable jump.
Okay, and through the survey, I mean, what did you discover about kind of generational changes in behaviour and gender, travel preferences and that kind of stuff?
So that is specifically what we wanted to get some insight on besides the general outlook for travel, because for the first time, or I don't know for the first time, but certainly for the first time in a few years, there are 4 generations of travelers out there, people saving for travel, taking travel, able to pay for travel. And so the survey tried to drill down into those generational, for the most part, a little bit of gender, preferences to see if there was anything surprising or really not even just surprising, but anything that differed, and we found quite a bit. So some of it is going to be not surprising because it sort of aligns with what you would expect, but there were a couple of tidbits of surprise. So the younger generations, the Gen Z and the millennials, they are more likely than the older generations not to take longer trips necessarily or further trips, but to pick what I think I would categorize as a more adventurous destination. So they preferred Asia to the boomers and Gen Xers who would pick Australia.
Okay.
Likewise, the older generations were preferred longer vacations, which is obvious. They probably have more time than people first starting out in their career. But then one of the surprising things for us was that the millennials and the Gen Xers prefer to take beach getaways and spa getaways, which we didn't think was rated as high. Unsurprisingly, the younger generations really prefer adventure destinations, but with connectivity. So therein lies the challenge, I think, for companies in the travel supply space, to give that sort of adventure experience, that more exotic destination, but to make sure that it's Instagrammable at all times, and you're
indeed, yes, okay,
you're in contact.
And in particular, I mean, how does that kind of generation impact what people view as barriers? It says here to travel, and the kind of issues that they then later encounter when they're on the road?
Yeah, good question. So a couple of things. I would also say the one gender sort of alignment that we found, men versus women, was that when asked who their favorite travel partner was, men were most likely to say themselves. Women, not so much. They wanted to go with other people. So that was quite interesting. In terms of, do what you want with that.
It's not for us to analyse the social
I'm reporting,
impact of that.
In terms of travel mishaps and travel disruptions, again, interesting. So the older generations are more concerned about what terrorism, political unrest, civil unrest. The younger generations were more concerned with weather. So our interpretation of that is the younger generations have grown up with more terrorism, civil unrest, political unrest, and they did not find that as intimidating a travel disruption as the older generations did. To them, it was all about weather, which
maybe that's because they want their Instagram pictures to look better,
Yes, exactly,
right?
And it's a good point. We didn't make that leap, but I bet you're absolutely right. But from that, we're in the travel insurance business, so for that, we deal with trying to address travel disruptions when they happen. So for us, that's meaningful in product development, right? If you're gearing products towards either individuals that are of specific generational makeup or through suppliers that cater to those segments, you need to take those type of concerns into account when you design products and offer them.
Yeah, and I guess that leads into our final question quite nicely. How important are the trends of technology and personalization in particular as you work to address, kind of different preferences across this across these generations with so many different kind of expectations almost?
Yeah, so the availability of the products category is much more than it was 10 years ago, even 15 years ago. Similarly, all generations want it to be easy. Easy to buy, easy to use, there when I need it, offered by somebody with whom I'm planning my travel. So that was a fairly common expectation amongst individuals. There also a fairly common expectation was the desire for personalization. But when I say personalization, we didn't find a real interest in people in designing their own insurance product. People don't want to spend that much time on the product, but they want to know it was designed for them, with them in mind. So if I'm going to go on an adventure trip, kind of want to make sure that the experiences that I have there, should something go wrong, I'll be able to get help or get covered for them.
Okay, and this survey helps inform what AON wants to do. In the next couple of years, and is this something that you're can kind of continue doing so that you can discover more insights? So we're a customized shop, if you will. We don't have a shelf. So for us, understanding trends in travel, customer preferences, customer concerns are critical from the product perspective, from the service perspective. And so, we will continue to focus on these as we have in the past. So Beth Godlin, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.